All right, and we're back for another.
You're
I thought we'd do something a little different. I mean, the last 2 weeks kind of talked about modern day storytelling.
hmm
So I kind of wanted to go a
Yeah, we
little.
have been kind of negative, huh?
We've been kind of negative the last two, and I kind of realized that. And I was like, I don't want to seem like this super
Nah,
society
cause it's
stuff, but
great right now.
there are some really good stories that are still coming out. I don't know if you've seen Oppenheimer.
Chill, don't call me out like this. I don't want to have to say
No, no,
no.
it's okay. It's okay, dude. It's a long movie,
You
man.
love catching me in 8K, bro.
100%. It actually took me kind of watch it all.
I just watched the Napoleon joint though.
Oh
Bomb,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard
bomb.
bad things about that.
People were tripping. That shit was fire.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna.
Well, okay. I guess people probably knew it was coming out and saw previews and stuff. I didn't even know what it was when I started watching it. I just came into it raw. So probably I would say that was a huge variable.
My other question is it good? You like history, but is it something where
I would say the opposite.
a huge history buff is gonna hate it though?
I would say the opposite. I would say I personally am a history buff and I super love the French Revolution, especially. But I would say there's a difference in it. And okay, so this is the way I'll put it. There's like how we like when we talk about things like film versus animation versus a show, like those type of distinguishments.
Yeah.
So it's not about if you love history or not. It's your relationship with cinema. So if you love history and you wanted it to be a I don't know what people would like expect that they would say that that's bad, but I guess more documentary oriented people would maybe not like it, but there's no way to say that it's a bad movie because of that. I don't see how people can say that. But I always have the opposite opinion than what everyone else be having, so
I
I don't
don't know.
know.
I have to give
But
it a watch. I haven't watched it
but
yet.
if you know anything about history, it was one of the best representations we've had to date about that time. Like typically we've always romanticized or kind of like modernized a lot of the concepts and way that it goes. Now I will say the one thing that maybe people could argue, it was a little bit like it didn't feel like a French movie. It felt like an American movie.
Okay.
It felt like if an American, if Americans made a movie about the French Revolution and not the French. That's the only way I could see like that being a problem. But like I said, I guess that depends too.
Okay. All right. That's fair
But
enough.
it's not bad. It's not a bad movie. I won't accept that. I can accept not liking it, but calling it a bad movie just is. There's no way.
It's one I definitely will. Um, I watched the um. I really liked it. Like I kind of want a part two.
hmm
It was different,
I'll watch it tonight.
and I really loved. They did, but I mean, they did the strong female character without making it God's chosen. You know
Oh
what I'm
wait,
doing?
no, I'm
You
not
know what I
watching this.
mean?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not watching this. I saw. I realized. I remember now when why I didn't watch it the first time. I can't do it.
Why? What?
I can't do it. I would never publicly or out loud say the things that I have against it, but you can continue what you were
but
saying.
but it was that thing of like they she was a strong female, but they didn't make her
Mhm.
seem God's chosen creature. Got
Like she
messed
was
up.
just a strong character, and it had
Yeah,
nothing to do with them trying to
yeah.
size it or
And it's
like
not like she
making it
did
like.
some crazy thing that was like I don't know about that.
Mhm. Like she felt like a person. Like a.
Yeah, she felt like an actual person. Reason,
I could see that.
you know.
That's been honestly that's been my standard recently. Like other people are so much on so much other stuff, but I just like it when they feel like people now. I could work with anything else at
Yeah,
this point.
I want like somewhat real.
hmm
I need them to
And I
have
don't
a
mind.
flaw.
I think that's what I think the people need to be realistic, and you can go as crazy as you want with everything else, and I won't care. You can do teleporting, time travel, space, alien magic, fantasy, fire blast, but the people just have to be people, or else it's like, why am I watching this or
Yeah,
reading it or
so
anything?
that was my biggest issue with Star Wars was Rey was like it didn't seem like she struggled at all. Like she'd been a Jedi for like 2 minutes and she's fighting Kylo Ren training for like 10 years, and I was like, that don't make no
Bro,
logical sense.
bro, I don't even want to get started with
I like that don't make no logical sense.
the middest of
Anakin,
all mid, and they're like they just plot armored the mess out of Ray. Just she's OP because she's OP. No, she's not
yes,
OP.
and
I'm not having it.
the thing that makes just
I'm not
to
having it.
defend myself here in case someone wants to be like, oh, you're just sexist. Like, no, Ahsoka is amazing. And Ahsoka
Definitely
trained
not.
hard as hell.
Yeah, I was
Ahsoka
about to
was
say.
naturally gifted, but she made
Anyone that
mistakes with
knows me,
naivety.
if you know me, I'm my general default is strong female characters. So I definitely am
Oh
not
yeah,
sexist. And in fact, I looked forward to it because I'm so pro strong female characters. Like that's my thing. So I really thought it was gonna be great. And then even what is it, Finn or whatever, picking up the lightsaber, they just ruined so much canon with blasphemy.
but the problem with Finn picking up so much of the lightsaber, the only reason they don't cut themselves is because of Force. So how is he doing this?
There was just so much in it that was like off the first slice, as soon as the lightsabers clashed, it would have recoiled back and sliced through his body. Like that
Yeah,
wasn't like, and I'm not even trying to get all specific like that, but it's just so crazy to me that like I thought there's so many other like Star Wars obsessionists like me would like feel the same way, and everyone else was just like, well, whatever. I was legit traumatized. Like everyone's just okay with it. I was like, we're just accepting this now. This is Star Wars. But anyways, all that to say, that is a perfect example because she was not a person. That was just
yeah,
they just made up anything and plot
and now
armored her
I'll
through.
give Star Wars credit. You've watched Ahsoka, right?
Not all of it, but yeah, Ahsoka's great.
Ahsoka's really good. Like even Ahsoka, who's an adult now, who's been trained, has flaws,
Yeah, of course.
and
I mean,
because
I
of her
I like what
trauma,
they've
and
done
it's
with a lot of
completely
it.
justified. Like
People are
everything
mad
was
about
well
so
written.
much, but I think a lot of their shows are even if it's not your type or like maybe some people have preferences. Like some people would like the who's the Rogue One one? I liked his like the prison escape episode was good versus like Boba versus like Mandalorian, just all the different kind of like pathways they take. I'm okay with that. I don't mind that, and I don't care even if they change the canon up anymore. But Ray specifically was just not even a human. Like it was just like it was like it was like they chat GPT'd strong independent woman to hold lightsaber, and that's what they got from it.
And not
That
modern
joint is crazy.
ChatGPT. This was like 10 years ago
Nah, we're
ChatGPT.
talking. No, yeah, we're talking about. It's not even Chat GPT. We're talking about GPT one or whatever. Like that was just crazy.
100%. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because Chat GPT now be cooking.
yeah.
That joint makes some fire.
But like this movie actually felt good. I was like, all
Mhm.
right, that like I enjoyed it. I was like, I'm ready for a.
We're gonna watch this and just fully judge David off of this movie.
It's fine. I'm okay with.
He's saying really good. If this movie is mid, I would never forgive David. We're gonna
I'm
watch.
saying
He
it's a
said skip
solid.
to the last scene.
Now, granted, now, and like I'm not putting like cinematic map. I'm putting a Netflix watch type movie. Like I'm not
Hmm.
saying like you're
No,
going
I
there
mean
to watch like X event hopes and X. Yo, you guys have been working on this.
no, I do get what you're saying because, like I said, that's how I feel about the Napoleon movie. I guess if people had like some super expectations, like it was gonna be one of the best movies of all time, then maybe it would be mid. But as something that you just watch it and it's just like a one off, and like you said, as someone who loves history and specifically historical dramas are my favorite genre in the history of any type of
Oh,
storytelling.
like
It was just interesting.
um, about the Viking that came. Yes, the
Movie about a
Northmen.
Viking. Oh, yeah,
That was
yeah,
so
yeah. I was
good.
tripping.
I mean, no Vikings. I'm a fan of, which is
Hell yeah,
like I'm a huge fan of them.
Vikings is goaded.
I
Did
love
you ever
the
watch the new Viking? Did you
the one
watch
on
Valhalla?
Netflix. Yeah, I did watch Valhalla. I loved
Mhm.
Valhalla. Valhalla was so good. And
No,
that's what I mean by
I
I
think
don't like
we've
TV
talked
because
about
there
this,
are
but I
really
have to say
good
this. This
shows and
is
movies out there like Valhalla and
I agree.
Viking. I mean,
The Last Kingdom goes crazy.
I
But
haven't
David, I have to
watched
say
that
this
one.
on record. You're sleeping. I have to say this on record, on camera. And speaking specifically of my hatred of well, let me not say hatred. My love of strong female characters. Not only was she one of the best written strong female characters, they had two male protagonists and convinced me to like both of them. That's crazy. There has never been a history
Oh, in
of male
Valhalla?
protagonists where I like even one, and they got me to like two. That was crazy. I will really say the best thing, but I don't know how they made two MCs that I was able to like both men, and they were like opposites, but they did so good with the casting. Like those characters were so well written, and the cast that they picked to play the characters, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and so and that's why I was like, because I was like, we have been really negative, and I think just and people are like justifying it, like, oh no, exactly. You don't have to be exactly the same,
Nah,
but you
bro.
can't destroy what makes the character special. And I think maybe people don't understand,
Nah.
like, you don't really fall in love with a show, you fall in love with the characters. Like, Fairy Tail the show is mid. Fairy Tail the characters, that's fire. I love their characters.
You know, I'm a fairy tale once again
And I
obsessed.
mean,
That's my
and that's
favorite
why, like, for me,
world, but it's not even close to my favorite anime.
with Demon Slayer, I kind of find it mid character, except for Nezuko. Nezuko's the
Same,
only character I like.
same, same.
And,
Literally only
oh,
single
the
one.
butterfly chick they don't talk to.
I haven't really.
The only thing that keeps me
I've
watching Demon Slayer is the
I like
amazing
skipped to season
animation.
3.
Like the amazing animation is what keeps.
I think what I'll never be able to forgive Demon Slayer for the fact that the visuals are visuals and not real, right? Like knowing that just I'll never be able to really get into Demon Slayer. Like if it was real, I would really be able to watch it. But every time I see it, I think that they're just effects and that it's not really like.
For my viewing.
Mhm. And it takes me out so much. Like that one thing makes it so like to me. And I don't mind realistic stuff. But then either make it realistic or make it like that. Like I don't like that middle at all. And I don't think it's bad or I don't judge it. I just personally don't like it.
And I want to give a justification before because I'm worried I'm gonna get later in a film.
Of what?
But I'm gonna give you a good justification of a thing changed a whole lot, but I still liked it. But it's not a good,
Mhm.
and that is first Wonder Woman. If you read the comics, you realize the live action Wonder Woman are nothing like Wonder Woman.
I personally didn't really read the comics, but I love the live action. I'm not gonna lie.
But I loved it. No, I did love it. I did love the live action. That's
Bro, the whole time she was just wrecking. You always could get me.
or 84
That
was that
was a little bit. That's different.
and I'll be honest, what I don't like about that movie, it's not a Wonder Woman movie. You could replace Wonder Woman and Cheetah with SpongeBob and Patrick and have the same exact movie, not feel any different.
Yeah, I couldn't really get into that one, but the first one
First one
was literally just her doing Wonder Woman shit. She was just being swole, just kick, punch.
But if
You know.
if you watch any of the anime movies,
I have watched some of them, but I never read any comics.
You realize the Wonder Woman in that is not a good portrayal of Wonder Woman from like animated movies and the comics. This is like a completely type. She's not a civil, elegant woman. Wonder Woman is a warrior. She's always trying to kill everything. That's her only answer to everything. But I still really like this Wonder Woman, like this adaptation of it.
Yeah, I'm really fine with adaptations as a concept. So to me, I'm never too strict on source material.
Yep. And then the other problem with the second Wonder Woman, first one, she struggled, right? Learned to use her abilities and like how to control them properly. And second one, there you go again. Like that's not relatable. No one likes that
at all.
Like it's not relatable. Someone that's just good at it. The only time that's ever worked is that, but it's a comedy, so it's supposed to
Yeah, when it's comedy, then I don't mind it at all.
It's just like,
Pretty
oh,
much, comedy is like
I have to say
then I
what's the
can take it.
name, and he has the ability to kill everything. Like all he has to do is think die, and you die. And it's literally called like the one shot ability. So like and it's great. Like kind of like a One Punch Man. Like, so it works,
Hmm.
and it's super good, super super. Good. 5 episodes. I realized they come out. Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so there is ways to change characters and good. You have to
Hell
make
yeah.
them lovable as the original. Avatar didn't do that for me. Maybe some people like it, and yes, but
Nah, you can like it, but no matter who you are, you can say that it's okay they changed the characters, but you can't say that they butchered Sokka and Katara. There's nothing else to say about that. Even if every other thing about the show I don't have any opinion or you can feel how you feel, they butchered Sokka and Katara. And
yeah,
if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. But there's no saying that that's not what happened. There's no way.
yeah, I feel that.
But anyways, even then though, to be honest, that's why I say as a proponent of live action, even when they get it wrong, I honestly don't care as much. Like in the perspective of like dialogue, debate, or like critique, then I'm saying this. But in the sense of storytelling or like media, as you know, what we're into, first of all, if we go all the way back to the old days, I was reading Fruits Baskets thinking that no one will ever know that story besides me, and I felt lonely. And now they're adapting stuff. It's like regular anime is the most popular thing in the world. I'll take it. And you know, I've the more that we've been talking, the more I've come to accept it. I'm a live action person. I want everything as a live action. Everything. I want everything. Literally, when you ask like what would we do, I started going through. I think of stuff all the time now. I'll just be sitting there reading or like watching something, and I'm like, I need I need a live action. Uh, My Bride's a Mermaid, and this, and
Yeah, I
I
don't.
need a, I need a, I need a live action GTO. I need a live action, just everything, just be in my head.
I don't know. I don't know if My Bride and Mermaid works at a lot. Only because some of the thing that make My
Everything works
so
as a live
good,
action.
what makes it so good is things you can't do.
But that's my point, that I still be wanting everything as a live action. I get what you're saying, and I'm saying that I love live action so much that I would take the L on the stuff that doesn't translate because I want a live action.
But
Or on Host Club,
know what we
make that a
okay
college
that could be
college age
live
and then
action.
live action. Can't fade the high school though.
You
Make it
know
college.
what I need the creator of Vikings to make a God of
That'd be great.
War. Especially like honestly, they could literally take the script from God of War 4 and make that into a movie, and it would be great. And just the gameplay part,
I agree.
write your own script for.
I agree.
Like I just don't see the only issue, the only flaw I see is if it's not voice is so iconic, it'll be super
Mm,
critical to anyone that's not.
yeah,
But if you ever see the voice actor for Kratos, he's a big guy. If you teach him how to act, I think he could pull it off.
probably.
I don't even care at this point. But yeah, I mean, God of
Make
War.
everything.
I don't understand. They picked Assassin's Creed to make. Then the ones that would, I feel like they touch.
Yeah, I do. It does genuinely feel like they picked the worst choices to be live action.
Yeah, and the weird thing is like Sony owns God of War, and Sony is a production company that makes movies. So it's not like they'd have to worry about rights being Sony Pictures.
Speaking of which, I would even be okay if they tried Death Note again.
Get someone that knows it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so a lot of the things I swear on my life, just like Japan or like whichever or Korea, and so even sometimes America, like the right country and the right person just needs to be behind it, and it would be fine.
Well, I think it. Have you ever heard? So you might know this. Uh, Henry Cavill from The Witcher. Like everyone, all the directors and people, like he was difficult to work on with the And then you listen to his side of the story, and he's like, "No, I just love the games and what they were trying to do." And I was like, "No, he would." And I'm like, "Well, when you were listening to him, the first two seasons of Fire, you kind of stopped listening to him, and after that, people had a lot of criticism. So what? At some point, you have to go. Well, maybe he's onto something. Maybe I need to put my own creative, like, air aside and go for what's successful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when you do something like Last of Us, something that had like this cult following.
Yeah, there's a real call
Your
for
feelings don't matter. Only the cult following does. Because at the end of the day, as soon as the cult following says it's bad, all the people that were just don't know what it is that were going to watch it is going to, well, I know the guy loves it, so I'm not going to watch it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Mario movie was good. It was animated, but it was. I love Sonic.
Nah, I need to see them make that Mario in live action properly.
We've seen that before, and it did not come out well.
Nah, they gotta run that back. Do it properly.
So, Nintendo announced another Mario movie.
Sonic was great, though, as a side point. Sonic was great. So.
Sonic was, and there's another one.
But it's crazy. This is where I feel as though Sonic from the Sonic movies isn't Sonic, and I don't think it's a bad thing though. I think it's fine. I think that Sonic isn't what I would consider Sonic, and it's fine though.
Yeah, I mean they took the basics of Sonic. Fast hedgehog runs around,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Emerald.
Mm-hmm. Everything was there. It just he wasn't Sonic to me, but it didn't bother me at all. I'm not even saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying like it's fine to change the character.
Look at Jim Carrey as Eggman.
Bro, that was not that. It was great and not great at the same time. Like,
yeah,
it,
but it's not.
That was not accurate, but it was great.
Yep.
Like it was so entertaining. He was such an entertaining.
It made me
character. I didn't care that was an Eggman.
And I mean, and that's what you have to do. Like, you have to make it good enough that people. I don't care that it's not the. He just came out of nowhere.
He's been sitting there the whole time. I think he's falling asleep or something.
Yeah, I mean, so there has been a lot of really good movies. Even like talk is like sucked. But then I go back and I really like that Disney. Encanto, enjoyed it. Fantastic.
Encanto was great.
Turning Red was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't like I don't think I'd put in my all-time Disney list, but it was a solid movie.
I mean, I don't think I was the target market for it, so I won't judge it.
No, that's the other thing. I wasn't really the target market. It's supposed to be right.
I never went through none of that.
Yeah, I don't turn into a panda. And then I watched Netflix Kraken. Watched that was really good. So like I enjoyed the story. So these are all really good, and so clearly they're able to. I feel like it's only on their high dollar cinema that they. I don't know if maybe like it's because doing too much. That might be it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, less is more at the end of the day. Less of your own creative source material is the key to like the fandom's heart. Or you do like Ahsoka. Ahsoka has no story, so what they're doing they can completely make up as long as they follow the Star Wars.
Because they're moving forward, yeah. I would say Ahsoka is definitely like one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. But like moving is the same as Boba Fett. Moving forward with it from wherever my story cuts off, then I don't mind where you take it. It's because they rewrite canon that's always like, all right, you gotta chill. But moving forward is always fine.
Break the rules of Star Wars that are.
No,
we can't break the rules.
Yeah, like you've already made us love this, so you can't. If you change it, then it's not the thing that we love anymore.
And it's funny because I was talking Boruto. Boruto has made the power scaling so wild that it's not even it's not fun to watch because it doesn't make any sense at this point. Like I don't actually know like how to judge the power scaling. It's like they just in there for no you can do this and then you do this and there's no structure to this.
Mm-hmm.
And it
I
kind of ruining it.
I feel like that with so much stuff. This is a thing I wanted to talk to you about. This a lot of things do this. One of the first ones that reached, I guess, mainstream because it's on Netflix. I think it's called High Rise Invasion
Yes.
or whatever. So there's so many. I'm trying to remember what the names were. You know, I used to always know names in Japanese and not English, so it'd be throwing me off. But there was like a genre, like Rabbit Doubt and whatever that one blah blah blah
Game?
psycho. I mean, even Darwin's Game is in the same family, yeah. Where they start off as really intense psychological, but then they just become power scale battle, and it's like you're taking out the thing that hooked me.
Are you talking about the? I don't feel like I don't.
Oh no, not the anime. No, not the anime. I'm talking about
I was
manga.
gonna say I
Yeah.
never read the manga for High Rise. They never
No.
created more anime. So
Yeah. No, the anime doesn't go there. The anime doesn't go there. But I was just saying that was one of the only one of that genre that's in main, like that genre tends to not become widely known. That type of psychological, but
I love that genre.
it's I know what you're talking about still, but I'm gonna rage quit on names. But either way,
You know what I'm talking about.
yeah. Either way, I like it when they're like it's okay if it becomes even so. There was this one, I think it was called Cyber Monday or something. It was an OG. I don't know if it ever became an anime or anything like that, but it was about like terrorist attacks, but like hacking. And it started off so like, oh, what's gonna happen? Or even Mirai Nikki was not. It's not fully like that, but it was still like. It's like. It's like.
Well, I felt like that was one of the ones. Break it. They kind of
Mirai Nikki stuck to the world, but even then, they kind of. I don't think they did it bad, and I'm not putting them in the category with the rest of them. But even Mirai Nikki, it started going in that direction, and I think it's so interesting that they're attached like that. That like that type of like psychological danger genre always moves so far into action in that sense. But anyways, that's all just to say that that's something that I noticed, and like it's something that's not talked about because it doesn't tend to turn into anime, and when it turns into anime they don't go far into the story where that usually happens. Like the anime of any of these things that are like that never make it to the points where what I'm talking about happens.
You got an ending. Typically they do get do people just not like the psychological one?
Did Dead Man Wonderland finish? Well, they did it in the manga. They did the same thing, and then the other one with the kids that everyone loves. Did the anime get that far? In the manga, they did it. Yep. Promise Neverland or whatever. Tomorrow Neverland.
Promise Neverland. I didn't watch season. I heard it was bad. But I mean, yeah, people don't seem to like the more psychological ones. The funny thing is, I'm a big fan of those psychological ones. That's why I like Bigger and Alice in Borderlands. Alice in Borderlands was one that did a really good job because it is technically psychological one power scale. They just kept it very simple and straight to the point. Yeah, like
Yeah, I agree. Like, but I would say that it was less like
whew.
it was easier for them to stay on
Well,
on
one, it's
course,
live
I'll
action,
say.
so it's harder to make superpowers. It's expensive to make.
You know, but even the manga all the way through, kind of, it was pretty solid on that.
Okay, yeah.
But I think the premise they had and the way they started off was good. So they didn't like they didn't. I think one of the things that makes them go more in that quote unquote action. It's not that it's the action, but it's like they're turning into shonen. It's like they're going from like a dark thriller into a shonen. They'd be like, "What in the world? Why is Power of Friendship coming?" And this was. It's like they're going from. It's
That's
like
why
they're going
Alice in
from.
Borderland didn't get there because they killed off all his friends.
It's like they're going from Jigsaw to like fairy tale. Like it's just wild. Like there's a whole different genre, and I'm okay with both.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I like. I do like soccer. I wish they do it more. Um, I because you know which one actually
I think so.
and the rich people were.
I didn't know that became an anime though.
Oh yeah, it did, and it. I mean, I loved it, and that actually came to an end, and it stayed pretty like it had supernatural elements to it, but they never actually got like superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
And so Black God, Chaos Head, I mean, they had powers in Chaos. Never got like powers.
Nah, Kel's head was hitting though. They were supposed to have like perk stuff. That was on brand.
I mean, I messed myself up because I watched Mariah Chaos Head and what's the
Hikikomori or one of them. Did you ever peep Hikikomori? Uh,
that might be one that I watched in English.
I think that is. I think it. I don't think they had a different name.
Okay, maybe not. I have to see a picture.
NHK. Welcome to the NHK.
That's the one where he's like
The perk demon. He's like a recluse.
yeah, but he doesn't like to leave his
Yeah.
yeah.
Welcome to the NHK. I think is the English name.
Okay, yeah, I've seen
That was one of the best like perk stories. I think they did really good at keeping it like what the like it wasn't as good as Durara, right? But I think it was similar to that level of writing, but Durara is just a bigger scale. Like that's like if you made a side story of one character in Durara, like it's like that type of writing. Like it was very similar to Durara, but it was just not as well scaled out or as big. It was just like singular character focused. But I think it was great.
But yeah, I watched Mariah, Nikki, Chaos Head, and then Black God.
Also, I need a live action Durara immediately.
That would be good. But I watched
They
all
wouldn't do it.
three of those three back to back to back
Yeah.
without leaving my house for a month. Dude, by the
Mhm.
time I finally left, I was slightly paranoid. I was like, oh no, they're coming for me. And like that's all I did. Like I slept and watched these shows.
No, that's the best feeling.
No, it's
That's
not.
the
I
best
felt
feeling.
so
You're
bad.
like,
I had to reacquaint myself with reality.
nah, that's the best. That's when I was watching. I was watching a bunch of stuff like that too, and I was watching. What's my favorite one with the robots, Peter? My favorite show with the robots, where we think they're people.
Oh,
I hate you for not knowing this right now. Westworld. Bro, for the longest, because I was so high for like weeks, I was just smacked watching all these like psychological joints. I was like, yo, they gotta be robots. That's not a person. I'm like, am I a person? Am I Dante? What if I'm wrong? I was just tripping out from freaks.
yeah, no, it was so weird. Like because first day after it, my called and he was like, "Hey, we're going out." Scoop. I got in the car. All right, man. I was like, I don't know. He was like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "Mine's kind of messed up." And I was like, "I'm not gonna do that again. That's weird."
Nah,
And I
that's
was
the
like,
best feeling.
"That's good storytelling." Like
Hell yeah,
when you
you be
pull
tripping.
people in and you make them be like, "I don't doppelganger."
No, that's my favorite. You're like, it's the simulation. It's over.
But
We're
yeah,
not really here.
it really like threw me off. Threw me. I was
Hmm.
like really pull myself back together mentally.
Hmm.
But yeah. So there are a lot of really stories out there. Granted, a lot of them are foreign, but that's fine. It's fine. I think we should reach out to other cultures. And
I agree.
Netflix did it again. I don't know if you watched The Brothers Sons on Netflix.
Mhm.
They canceled it. There's no another season coming. No new
I'm
season.
gonna have to look this up. I can't just take that at your word. No,
Yes,
no
they
offense.
canceled it. They
There's
canceled.
no way.
And what's her name? The mom is super sad. Yeah, I know the feeling. That's how I felt when I was like, and it really makes me question like, does Netflix not want money? You hate making profit because right now you. I love that show, guys. If you're watching, go watch the Brothers. Gotta start. Bring it back. Bring it back. I'm telling you, it's so good. My boy died though.
Bad for business. That's
Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched it, he died.
crazy.
I was actually sad.
Insane. Damn, you just yeeted me. There's no
Sorry.
way they canceled it.
Yeah, they canceled.
Nah, okay, we gotta do a petition for sure.
We're starting it up. Our next 9
Yeah.
videos, guys, are just gonna be about why they.
There's no way they're wilding that hard.
I just don't get. It was on like the top ever.
Yeah, they be.
Like it didn't get knocked off until they dropped their new. Oh man.
You you just kind of crushed me. I'm not gonna lie.
But when the big guy died.
I only have a little bit. Do you wanna go into the
Yeah.
the core topic today?
Yeah. Let's. So
Uh,
I wanted to talk a little.
Peter, I guess for this part you should hop in now. We're
If
about to
you,
talk about the actual topic of the day.
but yeah, I'm
Never
pretty
mind.
much
You'll be
yeah.
alright.
The front part I just wanted to. I don't hate movies anymore. Like there are enjoyable movies that I really love.
There's some
There are
bangers.
some that still like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm hyped. I mean, Oppenheimer.
I mean, in the back to the shows in different cultures, like the K drama world, they're doing webtoon adaptations fire. Like the romance ones is easier. I don't know what's going on with like webtoons into anime, like Soul Leveling and Tower of God, but the webtoon into live action, like they're cooking. Like some stuff, I feel like their choices are a little bit in casting, but I guess that's probably a cultural thing too. Like I don't be in Korea, so I don't know who's like popular actors and what's not. But I will say that K dramas, just as a genre, let alone adaptation from comics into live action, they're doing it great, and I never hear anyone complaining. It got some bangers, some heavy hitters.
Oh, announcement though. April 9th.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm like, if you haven't watched Blue Lock, definitely go watch. Probably,
I'm still sleeping on like finishing Blue Lock.
it's
You remember the painting joint? What was it? Blue Period? Yeah, I see it now.
yo a live
I need
action
live
Blue
action of
Period.
that.
Can we get a
Yep.
live
I
action
need a
Blue
live
Period?
action of
Dude,
that joint.
I don't even care if they whitewash it. You can. I don't care what you do. You Spanish people just make the
I wouldn't care
story.
less.
You could be
I wouldn't care
a
less.
British high school, American high school, South America. I don't care. You did it in Brazil. Just take the story would be crazy.
I feel like it would be lit as like a French or British show too. Anyways.
Like Russian. That'd be wild.
All right, but
yeah,
you
so
were saying.
yeah, I just wanted to clarify because we kind of had been really negative the last couple. but there are a lot of really good. It's just when they are bad, and it seems to be
I agree.
things that are like are high hopes for them. Avatar, other movies like that. Afterwards, I was so hyped for this.
Yeah.
But the main topic I wanted to talk about today was creation of story and like the process and with like we like to create and just like general price. Like I know before we started, we talked about people that create characters for build a story. I don't understand how you do that because I guess if you, and maybe I could do it for like super, and then I just put him into a world
That
probably.
that was gonna be where I took the conversation. Is I think that really ties into genre as well, and like genre specific habits. Even when writing other genres, you'll notice that people tend to write from their core genre and then change their genre into a different. I've seen that happen with a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
people who write comedy, if they're trying to write a drama, it's like they're still writing in the way that like they would do a comedy and then making the things into a drama or like like action into this or most transitions tend to be from people's baseline. I've noticed.
Yeah. I think what I've learned and like I've kind of started looking that we and I think this is something for every story future whether you're a content creator like vlogs or you're a cinema director working in Hollywood on big budget. If you look at all the greats, whether it's your C.S. Lewis or your Spielberg or your all these people that best storytellers, they're well versed in the world and reality. Like even if they stories they twist things, they understand the base of reality and then they just twist it to make it exciting. Because if you look at something like Lord of the Rings, it was very close to reality,
Grounded.
and then they just threw some exaggeration and fantasy into the reality to make it a story that facts of life.
Yeah, it's very grounded.
Yeah, and I think, and that's the key. I feel like to like great storytelling. I mean, I'm a big horror movie guy. Like I love horror movies. Scream is one of my favorite franchises, and why? Because one, they in the Scream franchise they acknowledge all the horror movie tropes, like the
Hmm.
characters in their dialogue. They don't break any of them normally unless it's justified.
Hmm.
And it's all very realistic. You know? I mean,
Hmm.
there's some things that happen that you're like, all right, I don't think that's. But for the most part,
Yeah, they keep it reasonable.
and yeah. Friday
I
the
think Scream
13th,
is one of the top tier.
Friday the 13th, they went to bar where like he fell and the guy ate hard and then he possessed him and.
I'm okay with it. It's not I personally, yeah, it's not my personal style, but I'm okay. Like I objectively I like it. Like I wouldn't really be that big of a fan, but I like it like overall and I like the storytelling and I like that style of movie.
And then like one of the ones I think Freddy versus Jason.
First of all, that's the best.
It was such a
It's the
great.
best. I don't care what no one that joint is
People
a
hate on it, but
banger.
it was so well. Like it
I
was clever.
literally do not accept like people just be hating. That shit was a banger. It was so well written. They came together so good. Like it like you said, it was similar to like you talking about Scream. It hits all the tropes, but like act like it's like funny and all the way the tropes are there, but the story's still up and it really is kind of creepy. You're like, oh shit, like it's top tier.
Like it.
And for its time,
Oh yeah. Oh man,
it's one of those. It was innovative.
they had the
That
great
was not.
'90s rock music soundtrack on it. Had what's her name from Destiny Child? Yeah.
I don't know. You
So
gotta
many like
chill.
there were so
You
many
can't.
girl R&B groups at that time. It's hard to keep them on track. You know what
That's
I'm
what
talking
you.
about? It's like boy bands in
No,
the
I
early
can't.
2000s.
I can't. You gotta stop throwing things at me like that. You
Sorry,
be
I'm sorry.
walling.
I've been catching you
You
off.
be walling. I don't. We don't make any type of references to any type of cultural. I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, like um and like so keeping it grounded and understanding where you're writing. Like with the Fallout movie, I hope wherever they're placing it, understanding what it's like in that place. That way you like relatable to the people that
Hmm.
can't place something in DC and give someone like some like no that I mean, are there people with country accents? Yes, but the majority don't have it. But like, you want to create a story.
Yo, my hair going bald is crazy.
Where do you like to start with your
Me personally, I always start with the actual environment, literally.
story in the city, in the Amazon?
Hmm.
Or...
Quite literally, I start from the environment. Yeah, but and it depends though because you don't have two types of storytelling. Either I've always had my universe, like now it's kind of evolved into Qatar, but I've always kind of canonized my kind of like universe. So I would always be building inside of that pre-written universe in my mind. Since I already had my world building before I knew that I was writing a story, right? Like I was building, I was doing world building, but I didn't know that's what I was doing. I was just building it. I didn't even know that like that was world building. I just had always been doing it, but before I even started writing. But then I have my one-offs where I like, like one shots or whatever, or like back to why I like things like historical dramas. And either I'm starting from the environment or it depends. Like, like the Romeo and Juliet style thing. Like I like retelling of stories, like Grimm's, right?
Yeah,
So I won't start from the environment if it's a retelling, but even then, that's where I start with my repurposing, right? Like I'm like, oh, Romeo and Juliet in space on a space station in the seventh galaxy. So like pretty much even if I don't necessarily start with the environment, that's always going to be kind of the starting point of my workflow. Is like, and it doesn't have to be physical environment. It could be world building in the sense of politics or like different things like that. But like 99.9% of the time, it's like probably the physical, like actual world.
yeah. For me, I like to start with genre. I'll be like, all right, and then I want to pick. It. So if I pick a genre, like since I love horror,
Yeah.
I'll go like horror movie, right? And then I'm
Hmm.
like, I need something in horror that is gonna make it creepy. So I'll go, what historical or figure can I? And then how do I link it to the location I want to set this?
Hmm. You have a broader writing style to begin with, because like of the stories you've told me, like one of the earliest stories you told me was like a horror you were writing. One of the earliest stories you ever told me was like a psychological thriller type of action. And then I remember one of your first stories you kind of told me about like the powers, like a shonen. But like you've always kind of been more broad in your style of writing. Whereas if you notice, I have an open mind for storytelling, but I kind of tend to stick within drama. Like I almost only write drama.
Well, and I'll switch drama, but I mean I'll say switch genres, but I'll keep the story. So like the I've kind of it's really just a simple power thing. I kind of took the plot from Zatch Bell
Hey.
of like the whole like master, and then Zatch Bell. The dolls actually have all the powers, and
Mhm.
but the dolls aren't OP with helping them buff. Then I was like, oh, how can I do that without just blatantly ripping Zatch Bell off? And I'm like, well,
Mhm.
what about the power construct what if Zatch Bell and his dolls didn't want to be controlled? They know they're the most powerful things on the earth, but they're controlled by people that would have no powers except for the fact that they can the most powerful things on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then what if the government controlled the people that can control the most powerful things? So now there's this triangle of like dictatorship, and then you make one that's so OP that actually control him, and then he gets
Mm-hmm.
controlled by like a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, ooh, well, this is interesting because there's so many
Yeah.
dynamics you can run with this, and so many
Mm-hmm.
theological, political views
Mm-hmm.
and ways you can run with this and kind of play around, and it kind of gives you a broad wheelie to kind of be creative with it.
I agree.
No, it's complex.
No, I mean I like that style of writing because back to use of the word broad, it allows you to go even within one story, let alone create multiple stories in so many directions, which, like you said, allows for complexity, but you can also still be concise. Like this is what's happening, but this involves and includes so many different aspects of society, like you were saying.
Yeah.
You can go political or dramatic or violent, whatever the fuck.
The only like complex with that is you have to make sure when you're doing it, finish that story before characters that like disrupt that, not make sense with them.
I agree.
So there are risks, obviously, to complex but broad because that obviously, as we learn with the internet, everyone who knows Cole is gonna making videos about it. But
Oh yeah,
people don't have
no
anything
way
better to
around it.
do than to get on the internet and tell you how they feel about it.
I mean, I don't judge it though.
I mean, to a certain degree.
I can't relate, but listen, if that's what they want to do with their time.
Like the only time it frustrates me is like the Barbie movie. People be meant for you. like
That
I watched it
yeah.
with that in mind that it's not really meant for me, and I
hmm
left it going, all right, but I understand people that loved it. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of my things too is I think leaving things for the people they're meant for is fine. Like you don't need to try to understand why they like it. They like it. Like that happens in music, right? You see all the big executives don't listen to artists, and it's like they have a cult for a reason. You don't need to understand why they have a cult. Just let them have a cult. Like it's okay. Even you don't need to like it too. Just see them, see that they're working hard, see that they have a following, and support it. But I feel like people always want to understand why something's liked, and some things you're just not gonna get.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, and I think you actually to make good need to kind of isolate it. Because I mean, saying if you try to please everyone, no one. And I think
Yep,
that's been a lot of the issue we have with storytelling. They're trying to create avatar. They're trying to please everyone, and then they end up not really pleasing.
I agree.
And I think and some of the kind of starting to. I think people are starting to accept this. It pleased everyone, so that's good. It's like no, that's bad. That means you didn't really do anything. You should
hmm
make some people feel uncomfortable because if you're making a movie about, especially something like Avatar, which charge for
hmm
kids, you should make people that
Oh,
have
for
certain
sure.
beliefs feel uncomfortable or angry.
Yeah, that is
like,
kind of the point.
like, like, which, like, thinking back now with Avatar, that was really risky.
Oh
Children's
yeah.
little,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No question.
like,
They could have gotten in a lot of trouble.
even the live action in this demographic to make it is a
Also
risky
valid.
business.
Also valid.
Like, so I may not have enjoyed the live action, but I definitely give them props for doing it.
hmm Like I said, I mean, turning anything into a live action is a W. Really, it can be done better in a few years. Worst case. Ooh. Nah, they got to give them powers or something. They need to cook. They be doing crazy shit. I don't want to see no football game. I want to see you throw the football like a laser beam blast through. I want to see you jump up to the moon, catch it, come back down. I need to see some craziness. I'm
Well,
not
that's
having
why
it.
like certain ones like high Q.
Yeah, I don't want to see no
I
Haikyuu,
I
bro.
can go to the Olympics and watch that.
Yeah, I don't no Haikyuu. I don't want to see ever live. Actually, you know what? You know what? You know what? Just get a real midget or something.
But yeah, so like
Oh wait, you can't say midget.
I don't know. I don't know. Please, if you
Well, I'll
know,
say midget.
leave
I'll say midget
a comment. Is it?
or a little person. But I swear,
I
little
feel like
person
that's more
sounds way
offensive.
worse.
Yeah, that's
That
way
sounds.
more offensive. I would be more offended.
But that's what they be on TV. Like the shows are like Little Women and Little People. So that's what they come on TV. So if you can say it on TV, then that's as social conditioned mainstream as you can go. So I'm sorry, I won't say that word. I'll say little people. I
Little
guess.
people.
I don't know. I feel like that's offensive. If y'all are okay with that, then that's what I'll say for y'all.
You're a little person watching this. Let us
Honestly,
like
I'm not being funny. I don't fucking know.
we're generally kind of just wondering. But yeah, so process. I feel the only thing I would say never start. I wouldn't start with like if you're doing superhero. Start with the personality of a person and link the power to the. It makes it flow better. Like, cause it
I,
like
I,
imagine the Hawk if he was like okay. That would be funny. But
that'd
I
be
think
super accurate.
it,
I'll fuck
it'd
with
only
that.
be funny because there's
Well, this
already a
is
Hawk.
funny every time I
It
see
would
it.
be funny to make Bruce Banner like
I got
buff
scammed crazy.
guy. Bruce Banner
Hmm.
concept. But that's because you're using irony.
Yeah, I mean that's I really, really, really love me some ironic,
Yeah, like a big guy named Tiny
satirical
is
perk
hilarious.
every time. They never
Every
gets
time. It
old.
never. Yeah, and if you're going to when you make here's a really good one for when you're telling a story, and I see it way too much. If you're trying to represent, don't make it so obvious that it becomes cringy. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
They try whether it
No, yeah, I'm glad you caught yourself. Don't say nothing. Don't say
I'll be
nothing.
better.
I know what you're saying, but just don't
You know
say it.
exactly what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're talking about, yes. But
Whatever you
yeah,
support, don't make it cringe.
yeah.
Because it's
Yeah, I mean,
off-putting.
literally though. Like you can express yourself and show your views and opinions in a story without it ruining the story because you're just trying to push an agenda.
Yeah.
But even if you think you're in the right, imagine the ones that are on the opposite side of that doing the same thing. That's literally called propaganda. It's like brainwash. Like it's like literally not appealing. So even if you think like even if you're saying something like everyone should be nice, if you're making it annoying and propaganda, then you're ruining even a positive message. Which not all messages are positive, so maybe you're also just wrong. But that's neither here nor there. I
That's
don't have
right.
an opinion for that.
And I think that's if you're a story writer, you the biggest thing you need to do is when you writing a story. I got a great one. I got a great one because they do a great job. Have you seen Black Claim? It is a
No,
fantastic movie. It's literally pretty. Do you know the plot of it? So
no.
he's a black guy, he becomes a cop, and he ends up like on the phone fighting the KKK.
I remember it, but I don't.
It's
Did I watch
fantastic.
it?
It's a fantastic movie. But one of the things you can tell that the director and the writers did when they were writing the KKK, they really went in and created character. Not
Mhm.
oh, they're all just a bunch of dumb hillbilly white people that hate black people. They created actual characters and like actually made you feel like they believed what they were saying. And
Mhm.
then to some point, they even gave them things that made them justified in the way they felt.
Mhm.
Because even if you 100% disagree with something, there are probably things that experienced it, something to them, read something that justifies what they.
Oh yeah, a lot of people get mad at me about that because I'm normally more of a radicalist. But you know, I'm super not anti-white people propaganda. Well, depending,
Wait, I need you to
but
clarify what you mean by that.
that I am extremely pro-black and like I tend to have really strong religious, cultural, racial views, even though I don't talk about them as you know. But people get mad at me because I tend to not be like radical in that sense. Like, you know, I'm close with a lot of white people. I've never been anti-white. I've never like to me, it's even and it's not even just white. I genuinely and truly have and you should know this as a fact, racist people in my life that are everyone knows they're actually racist. And what I've witnessed in real life is some people are like, you shouldn't be soft or you shouldn't be gentle, and like there's no excuse for that, and like, oh, we have to be like fuck racist. I'm black, but what I've really experienced, and this is a real thing that I've experienced in my life on more than one occasion, and with races that you even know, not that you're related to them. That's funny because you're white, so I can't say that. But yo, you're not even close to them at all, for sure. But the races that you know
The
that I
viewers
know,
are like they're looking deep at him like, oh damn,
hey,
tell me
hold
now.
on, no, the people that you're not close to that I am, because you tend to not associate with racists. I don't know if you got any secret racist friends, but from what I've
I got
seen in our in
there's
our long
maybe
friendship, you haven't brought them around, and you usually avoided them from what I know. But truly though, on a serious note, what
you're
I've
gonna
what
be
I've
thrown out
seen
of the
is
group.
I'm dead. From what I've seen is like a lot of people that would be racist, they meet me, and I am somewhat, you know, a stereotype fucking hard ER. Like it's not even like I'm like one of those like you know, like Mike. They're like, oh, good day, sir. Like if you catch me outside with a shiesty, I might really rob you for real. But even besides that part, like I'm still a human. Like what the same thing you're explaining about that, I know that about myself, and so I accept the outside. Like I even am a little bit of the generic stereotype negative views that could be a young black male, if not almost all of them. I'm the worst that it could be. But even with that being true, I'm still with almost anyone that's close to me, including someone like you, like as a friend, like it takes a week to realize that I'm not joking if I say I'll die for you. Like it's not even in my nature to not, like, you know what I'm saying? And so there are people, and especially when it comes to things like racist or something like that, that have certain views or feelings or opinions, and literally just humanizing them and talking to them or being around them actually changes it. Like I know so many people that were so racist, and just knowing me literally made them stop being racist because they're like, oh shit, I'm being racist.
Yeah, I mean, and some of them just it's just like if
You're raised that way, you don't know
you're
better.
exactly you don't know, you have an idea is either push through even true because of where you live, but I mean, I feel like most people's world how big
For
so
sure.
and I think and I think understanding that makes you a better storyteller because now deeper characters. Now they those characters, you know, it might still be a racist piece of trash that at the end of the day you're like, yo, fuck that guy.
Oh, for sure.
But by making people be like, yeah, fuck that guy.
But even then, you got to go deeper. Like you can't just have that opinion at
The
base
anime
level.
character
You
we
have to
hate the
meet the
most,
person.
the anime character. The reason we hate her is because we know women like that that act
Hey,
like they're
chill,
all
bro. Come
friendly
on.
and they
He's
love you.
wilding again. He's
that
doing that thing. I only know beautiful, precious queens personally.
no.
I don't know anyone like Rachel.
The
Every woman I know is
Vaughn
amazing.
Rachel relationship we have seen happen to guys and
I've
girls.
never seen that ever. Every woman I've ever met
That
is a
happens.
queen. Every woman I've ever met is amazing and sweet and beautiful. And I don't know what type of women he knows, but I don't know them, so
But
I
at the
can't
same
relate.
time, we've also opposite of
But yeah,
girl that's with the
all
terrible
jokes
dude.
aside, All jokes
We,
aside,
we,
yeah, no,
oh,
I do know Rachel. I definitely know Rachel in real life, time 5.
yeah.
I know 5 Rachels right now.
And I'm sure some of our
We
followers
grew
will
up with
say,
some Rachels. We grew up with
we
some
know some
Rachels. That is a
Rachels.
fact.
I might have to say Rachel.
Hey, I guess we could call Rachel's Rachel from now on.
That's a thing now. Don't be a Rachel, guys. But at the same
There's this.
time,
Go ahead. I was gonna say there's this story. It's always why I get so sad that everyone doesn't read webtoons as much because I read so much romance stories. And there's this one story, the remarried empress. It's one of the second names that comes up as much as Rachel in other stories, and her name is Trashta. I don't even know her real name, and I'm like on chapter 200 because it just became Trashta in my mind because we all call her Trashta because she's so trash. Her name is like Tarashi or something, and we're like Trashta, or maybe it's Rasha or something. I don't know, but we all call her Trashta because she's such a bad character. But she's so well written. Like it's like when we talk about it, like she's the worst character of all time, but she's so beautifully written, and it's so great that she's in the
and like
story.
you
It's
hate
so
her, but you
satisfying
love
to hate
that
her.
she's there. Yes. I mean, what's her name? From Shield Hero. Like
Yeah, yeah. I
the
mean, I feel the
the
same way.
way she like went from doing what she did to when her mother calls her out on it, and she tries to play the victim, and we're just like, oh, I know that type. I know that type. I hate that type. So got the punishment. Everyone was cheering, but without her in
Oh
there, the
yeah,
story would have been dull.
yeah. It's not even the same story. Stuff like that's it's so important to have that character.
Yeah, it was
What's the name of the annoying guy? The White
uh,
Knight Perk Demon. What's his name?
the one with the speed.
Yeah,
We all know
but
that
I
guy too.
even
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
think of a
And
couple of
it's
them in my
and
head.
it's so accurate. It's so accurate and well written though. Like even if I don't like those type of people, it's like they have to exist though. And like you have to know like their motivations and like why they're like that to like you were saying to write like so many people can't write because they're so one dimensional because they tend to like line up their lives with okay these people agree with me or I like these people but it's like you genuinely have to see other perspectives and you can't just see them and be like oh like you say like oh that dumb hillbilly or this stupid race like no like I think GTA was one of the best ever because Trevor is one of the most intelligent characters of all time and he was an actual meth crack perk demon hick. Like he was
Daryl
the
Dixon.
worst,
People
but he
forget,
was
like
so
at the beginning, Daryl Dixon was a freaking racist, like hillbilly,
wildin',
not hated cops.
wildin'.
By the end, him and Rick were like died for each other.
Almost literally became a hero archetype.
Almost went to war for Glenn. He was a
Hmm.
Daryl Dixon was a neo-Nazi pretty much,
Yeah, yeah, no,
and it
but
was like
and it's
circumstances
necessary.
and
Hmm.
and the people change you.
Hmm. And I think that's one of the most important parts of writing is kind of being an anthropologist and like learning other cultures, learning about other languages, learning about people, and being around people that you wouldn't normally agree with. I mean, in life, I think that's important. But when it comes to writing, I would argue that's one of my best superpowers. Is that like I know every time if I even see someone that I feel like I've never seen someone like this or they're new or I don't understand them, I just want even if I don't like talking to them or they make me uncomfortable, I'll ask them questions. I want to know who are you, where
Yeah,
are you from,
I mean,
what type of experience have you had?
me personally, just kind of just use the scientific method on everything: who, what, when, where, why. Like, and I may not get all the answers to each. By collecting a little, I can make justify. Yeah,
Agree.
but like, and I think when you're writing, you need to be constantly asking yourself every time you create a new scenario or character, asking yourself who, why, and if you can't give all of those reasons, then he's gonna ruin your story, or the place isn't necessary. That keeps a lot of the fluff and the thing. All right, I feel out. Now, if you can
Hmm.
answer all those questions, then you're building onto it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Comey, I can't communicate Yo, we knew some Comeys in high school. They're not Comeys anymore. They learned to talk in their.
Well,
should have kept.
I don't know. Listen, I'm a Comey cultist, so I don't know if I can call them Comeys, but the general super anxiety, even though everyone else idolizes them, archetype. I don't know about Comey though. That's an angel. That's a saint. I don't. That's if I have a daughter, I want them to be like Comey. That is a pure. You know, I love me some pure-hearted saints.
Yo, you know,
But like, I might hate you. Be careful. Oh, you're wilding.
like early. Think about like when
I
we
knew you were
first
gonna say
met her.
some wild shit.
When we first
I knew
met
you were
her.
gonna say some wild shit. And I love you, so don't. If this turns into a public thing, don't think that this is me insulting you at all, because I love you the most. Honestly, you're one of my favorites. But he's just crazy for saying that you're like homie. She was like pure and naive in the sense of Comey, but no. So I mean, I can't. It'll be bamming if I say anything else. But all I'm gonna say is that Comey is such a
And that's why, like, whenever I see the Comey type character, I'm like, yo, that's my
well-intended
favorite character because
human.
all of the quiet people ever in life, I'm always just like, I gotta talk to them. They definitely got some crazy.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
always interesting.
yeah. That part I
they're
agree
not
with. For sure.
they're not on Comey, but whether it was like Trisha to Tina, like they're all very different.
I once again, he's always saying names. Crop that out. Make sure I'm not in the video when you say any names. I don't know. I don't know who you're naming right now, but keep going.
I love quiet people. Quiet people are interesting. They always have thoughts, and then they're observant because they're quiet. All they do is watch other people. Maybe people stuff you
Valid.
like, oh,
Valid. I agree with that part.
Like, if you ever want to build like a network system, always be informed. Find all the quiet people. Hey, if you're in high school, find all the quiet people and friends with them. You will know everything that's going on in your school. And depending on what kind of
I can give to modern high
it
school.
could save you from some
Over.
But
No comment.
yeah, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was like the main antagonist most of high school. Like I was the villain, so I can't. I don't have anything to say. even why I came to your school. Well, I mean, I never went into any other high schools. I was a law-abiding citizen.
High school, I was. You remember our God, the guy that's always.
Yeah, Wrestling David was a way different person.
I was dead on the inside.
Yeah, you were legit fucking.
But yeah, like story, and honestly, if you're getting into story, I truly think like one of the first like sports, it's just like problem. They're just not. Because those stories are they're simple. You know what I mean? Like there's a formula to writing a sport. And it's kind of like, all right, you fill in the blank. As to when you get into superhero, it becomes crazy. Now you're building. What's the villain's power? All right, how do I power balance? And power balancing can become complex. And if you break the power balance, then people get really. But like a good who doesn't like a sports movie? Inspirational. You leave them feeling good about the underdog. Let's go.
Actually, I'll say anime got me on that. I didn't like sports movies as much before anime. Like there are some bangers, but overall I didn't click with them as much before anime, I will say.
Sports are like a historical movie. I mean, one of my favorite like historical fiction, Abraham Lincoln Vampire.
Hey, yo, I forgot all about that.
That movie hit.
Yo, you just
believable. Like,
why is that such a memory unlocked right now?
Because it was so believable. They used history so well to make that.
Yo, that's crazy.
Every vampire like attack that happened at that time was.
Bro, that's so crazy. You just unlocked weird memories. Why is that? Why does that feel so far back now?
Yeah, it was brilliant. I gotta say, like I was writers. And I mean, people change a lot of.
Bro, I always love those arcs. Like those are like the best arcs of reality when niggas be doing crazy shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's back when the fun. Now Wiki like checks facts check, and but that's something else you need to do. Facts check. Like, don't get all your sources from one place. You gotta reach out everywhere. That's the only way you write a. There's always two sides to every. Truth is somewhere in the center. Opposites. And when they agree, then I'm like, oh, bet that's the truth. They agree.
I do.
But yeah, I mean, there's like so other than current event writing, which is a great way to take like current story better and entertaining. That was actually an exercise I used to do. Go in and you find like articles, take that. I remember I did one like the
Jones on the alligator.
no, he threw a saw blade at his 18-year-old and then tried to bribe his not to call the cops with it. So I turned him into a mob boss.
What the
Yeah,
fucking
it
hell?
was a more wild story. It was in like Indiana. I was like, what is going on?
That's fucking crazy, nigga.
I was like, you might want to get checked.
Might, bro,
But
get that nigga out of here.
it did make for a good plot. Like I was like, yo, this is a solid plot. Like I could make a story out of this. Yeah, so like yeah, doing stuff like that. Even the cargo ships.
I have. Let me just close this because you're walling again. But
No, I'm just saying the event. That's
you're
what
walling.
I don't know if I don't remember if it's Yemen or if it's another.
Listen, I just vibe out and do positive things. I don't know about what's going on in the world.
No, but I'm just saying like that situation.
You are the not that I know anything, but yes, Yemen is the place you're talking about.
Okay,
But I don't know anything
I just
about
didn't
what's
want to
going
like
on.
accuse
So
a country that wasn't doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying my personal feelings about it. I'm just saying like you could make a really good
it's
story.
not even about feelings. I just don't listen. I'm just what they be saying. I'm just a girl, bro. I don't know about all that other stuff.
Story about the fire and then one of the ships transferred back. And...
Yo, you know what fries me? This is gonna be like you know how I always fight for the youth and I'm never like an old person, bro. They keep calling Transformers rescue bots. It makes me so mad because the show is Transformers Rescue Bots, but they'll call it a rescue bot. They'll like have the old Optimus Prime or something, or like Bumblebee. They'll be like, "Oh, the rescue bot," and I'll just be like, "I swear to God, if you little fucking 4-year-olds don't stop calling them rescue bots, it's Transformer." And it's so crazy, bro. It makes me so mad. I don't even know why. It just makes me sick that they call them rescue bots. I'm like, stop fucking saying that, you 4-year-old.
Oh, so I think
I do got to rap soon, so
we gotta take our man
oh
and our lovely Black Queen Backyard
yeah,
Fire Show.
those
I never thought
two
I'd see a
bangers.
moose that worked ever in my life.
Nah, backyardigans went crazy.
We got it.
Backyardigans went
And
crazy.
then, I mean, people want to fake and say Dragon Ball Z didn't help inspire and get the.
Nah, DBZ built anime on his back for real.
Without
Realistically,
DBZ and Sailor Moon, we don't have anime in the country.
nah, yeah, DBZ had anime on his back, and I'm not even, I'm like anti, but that's just being unrealistic if you try to pretend like.
Yeah, I mean, and like, I mean, can I agree that anime Dragon Ball Z is not like top tier? Like, yeah, I can agree with that, but own. Like
Yeah, I mean it's legendary no matter what
it
anyone
is what
says.
it is. Like you gotta take it for what it to others.
Yeah, that's really all there is
And
to
they
it.
rest in peace.
Rest in peace
Prayers,
for sure.
prayers out to their
Thousand prayers for their family for sure.
and I think
Legend.
we lost some there. We lost good children writers and backyard.
Just overall, those are two great storytellers.
They really
Speaking of
good.
storytelling, no
Backyardigans?
backyardigans, and we were already like even older again. Like I'm like a teenager watching it, and I know they're in the backyard, and I'm like, damn, they climbing up the snow mountain, they're going crazy.
I mean, we just could relate, man. That was me when I was a kid.
Bro, I used to
I
be
was like,
walking
oh no,
through the
dinosaurs.
canyon, walking. Yeah, right. Like, oh, I
Dinosaurs
gotta look
coming.
out for the. Nah, that shit was real.
Oh, speaking of, because watch a lot of movies, like all sorts of movies, genres you like. But Jurassic
Yeah.
Park is coming back. I didn't get to watch Jurassic, like the original first,
Mhm.
because it came out I think 95, 96. I was 2. Mom wasn't taking me to see Jurassic Park. I kind of want to go see it. I hear that those $5 to get. I like that.
I'm doing with that. Yeah.
Classic movies, black and white movies, definitely could watch. You learn a lot from a black and white.
I will say that too. Yeah, a lot of them be underrated. Like it's way more even in like the earlier sci-fis or the earlier horrors. You'll kind of see how the genres got built and why they had to use certain visual elements before they had like effects and stuff. And it really the way they would like they were forced to write so much more creatively. And then when it was turned into film, like that, I'll say that too. When you watch classics, you kind of like I'm a TV like I like shows. Like I'm always like I'm like a show first person. But when you watch classics, you realize what it was to produce a film.
It's an art
Like
form, actual art form. Sometimes I can't lie.
it's more they're just following formulas. But in the beginning, they were created like when you watch older movies, you see that they were literally creating genres from scratch.
Yes, controlling light and I think that's why like when Daredevil came out on Netflix, like the cinematography was so crazy. Got their fight scene, like you could tell it wasn't a formula. That's what made it so successful because we were like, yo, this is great. Yo, the scene with the hallway and it's just one up and down the halls and them going in and out of the doors and like you can't see
You
them,
know,
you just hear them.
you know who did really good at just pure like camera work?
Who?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, and The Dark Knight.
It was just such great, like just purely, like it was just like,
Pirates of the Caribbean, is that Michael Bay?
bro, I don't be knowing. I love movies with my soul, but I don't be keeping up with people's names. I'll be like director A, director B, director C, director D.
He didn't. Michael Bay didn't do any of the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's had 4 different directors.
Yeah, I pulled it up too.
Okay,
I got to wrap like in the next 2 minutes ish. So is there
that's
any
fine. Yeah, yeah, but just like what's his name, Christopher Nolan, and he does a lot of classics. Looks real. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I think at the end, like just getting outside your comfort zone. Stop. Don't make stories in your comfort zone. Make stories that are hard, and it actually will make you. One, it makes you a better person. Kind of makes you kind of be like it gives you sympathy. Not like jump to conclusion.
I also want to say what people should do because this was something that was big for me is writing differently, like writing purposefully as a novel, writing purposefully as a script, writing purposefully as a screenplay, writing like like write it like, oh, this is a movie, write it like this is a show, write it like, and don't get trapped into doing one because you're like, oh, I just write stories or like I write shows. I think if you go through the motions of writing in each style, you learn so much. Like for me, I didn't really do like show like, right, like I wanted to make shows but I've never written in that way. So once I started doing it, I started, oh, like I never thought of this, like dims lights, change scene. In fact, I think you're the first person that I ever like wrote, like, because you would write in a production style. Like you would be like, oh, we transfer outside, next scene, this scene. Like when I first started like going over your story, that was like 15 years ago now. It's crazy, right? You would write
I don't
in the
think it was
sense of
that
like
long
a
ago.
producer. Well, I'm always saying that because now that we're old, I just be saying 15 for everything. But you know what I mean.
I was like, I don't know if it's that long. I've only been out of high school for 11 years.
But you were in school, so
Yeah, but that was when I was in college. Is when
valid. Yeah, it would have been like 2013, 14. Maybe
about 10
15,
years.
maybe like 9, 10. Yeah, makes sense. But everyone does that to me all the time. I always say 15 years, and then people are like 9. That's the same number to me. I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm 30 now. It's all the same. But yeah, I that's what I wanted to add to what you said. I think writing in different styles will completely change how you write, and you'll just like kind of evolve from that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and like another like a good way to also work on your
I
script,
do have to.
and this will be for closes. Make a movie, but just take pictures, and then you're purposely gonna have to think of every picture you take because give yourself like be like I get 20 make a whole movie. And you really gotta think of what picture you're taking so that all the pictures make a story, or it's just not gonna look good. It's gonna look scrapbooking. But yeah, I mean that's
I think that was a great. I think that was a great one.
yeah,
But all right,
that's all we got for today. I mean,
always.
I'm really, I'm glad today's was a lot more positive.
Oh yeah. I feel like it's the start of a new uptrend. I think we got what we needed out, so
Yeah,
yeah.
we've been at the first episode how frustrating storytelling has.
And now we can talk about how to upgrade it. But all right, I gotta kick it.
All right, man.
I'll see you, fam.